So the fear has continued to build, more countries, more breakouts, and more coronavirus discussion. And that's resulting in a lot of interest in these stocks. And it's resulting in days like today where we see a massive increase in buying and volume and overall fear. And that fear gets inversely directed in the overall market. If we go back and look at the S&P today, as represented by SPY, we saw a very big red day and big volume, and that is a fear that directly correlates to the uptick in our coronavirus names. And as I said in the last video, as long as fear increases, you will see more interest in these coronavirus names. If fear stays the same, we will start to see a slow decline. So this is representative of that slow decline in these interest in these tickers. This is fear. This is slow decline as coronavirus becomes normal. As it breaks into new countries, we start to see that fear increase. The impact on global markets starts to cause a lot of stress and fear and uncertainty and doubt, which causes the market to go down. And I keep repeating myself, but I want to make sure that you guys know that these will go up as long as people are afraid. When people stop being afraid, these are likely to drop and drop relatively quickly, as we have seen over here from 786 to a low of the next day of 570. So a pretty substantial drop. Anyway, let's take a look at APT. APT is in not blue sky territory, so there is a big run in 2014. We capped out at 1073. So that is going to be an important level for us because prior to that, I don't know if we have any price history, but it's so far back that it probably doesn't matter. However, this is the only thing we have to compare to, and it looks like in today's action, we already hit that level and have pulled back from it. So we'll go and examine exactly what happened there on the 5-minute time frame, but that's our weekly chart. On the daily, big volume, not crazy huge, but it is ramping up. And if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we're going to start looking at massive overbought positions or conditions. And when we are looking at overbought conditions, we need to be cautious that we can have a big turnaround. But we also have to be paying attention to the fact that we're almost in blue sky territory. If we see blue sky come in, then we pay less attention to our RSI levels and we watch our trends and our consolidation patterns. We look for bull flags, we look for equilibriums, we look for opportunities that carve out short-term support and give us something to work with to position our entries and manage our risk. So on the daily time frame, RSI 78.83. On the 4-hour time frame, RSI 76.72, with our last 4-hour high or low being set down at 622. On the hourly time frame, we got overbought, and this is exactly what we need to see. We need to see some consolidation because our hourly time frame hasn't consolidated since 622 as well. So we're going to be looking for an hourly higher low and a 4-hour higher low somewhere between where we are now and that 622 level. If we lose 622, that means we start consolidating on the daily time frame, and that would be, well, the only way that that would come out is if we saw something that really and almost immediately put market fears to ease. So is that likely to happen? Probably not. We would have heard something in the winds. We would have seen some more strength in the market. So I think we've got a little bit more opportunity for these tickers as long as that fear continues. So on the hourly time frame, looking for that hourly higher low. EMA 12 is a good candidate. Watch for support around 822 or whatever our EMA happens to be as we approach that level tomorrow. 15-minute time frame, there is a loss of our 15-minute higher lows. So consistent gains, a minor loss, low, higher low, consolidation on what was likely the 5-minute time frame. Then we see our 50-minute higher low set, new high, and then we are now in a 15-minute downtrend. And this is where we get into looking for supports. 903, we go back to the hourly time frame. That was a low, the last candlestick. So we have a potential to find some support there. It would be unlikely to find hourly support so close. What I would look for at this point, and I wouldn't trade this, I'd be watching it. If we lost 903 and didn't see any follow through, and we saw a little bit of bullish uptick to follow, I would start looking for a hourly bull flag opportunity. It's all about what happens when we get to support levels. If we see a big drop in continuation, we know we're not looking at any sort of consolidation pattern. But if we break that 9, say we break it to 899, don't see follow through, even though we broke a psychological level as well, and then I'm looking for that hourly continuation. Overall, 15-minute time frame is doing some nice counter trend consolidation because we're overbought for most of the day, sitting at 622. So it's all about what the bulls are going to do over the next few hours during our pre-market and after hour sessions. We'll see where we open up tomorrow. If we are in this range, I would be looking at it as an hourly bull flag, and I would be looking for us to break 1073 as a key resistance level. And actually, let's go look at the 5-minute time frame. There is that level. We broke 1080, immediately pulled back, marking our high. So I would say that if there wasn't a cloud of resistance there, there is one now. People will be watching the 1073 to 1080 range, and bulls need to break that with conviction to have a lot more upside. But if they do, and if they can smash that resistance, then anyone who is shorted is going to be in trouble. And this is likely a lot of a short squeeze today as well. But breaking the 1082 is going to stop out everyone who is piled on since that high. Let's see what the bulls can do. LAKE, very similar situation. Let's reset our charts. We saw a relatively strong open, a dip down to EMA 8, and bulls went all the way back up, getting very close to, if not testing, that 1628 resistance. And there it is, our high of day, 1622. So 6 cents away from the high, and bulls need to break that with conviction again tomorrow. Let's go a ways back here. Our next resistance after that is going to be 1685. So a couple of good levels for us. We're going to be overbought, very close to it on the daily time frame, 6810. Looking again for a break. If we can see a green day tomorrow, then we're looking at our low of 1365 being our daily higher low. On the 4-hour time frame, a little bit of consolidation and no follow through on the part of the bulls. Rejection. How is our RSI? Creeping on overbought. Hourly time frame. There's that beautiful 4-hour consolidation. Bulls inside bar right in the middle of the day, and they broke bull. So let's go take a look at that and see what that looked like. So an important part of trading is recognizing pattern development. And when we see inside bars in the hourly time frame that have that sort of follow through, I always want to investigate and look at it and say, would I have recognized this as an important break? And you know what? We've got a double top at 1417. We set 1370, which is our low, which is still over the low of day. We set another higher low on the 5-minute time frame and another higher low on the 5-minute time frame, and then we go break 1417. So if I'm watching this, I want to see what happens when we break 1417, and for that reason, I'm going to drill right into the 1-minute time frame and look at when volume comes into play. So let's go grab a horizontal bar. We will take a look. So here's our break. And then as soon as we break, we see that volume pile on. If we go to the 15-second, may even give us a little bit more information. And here we are. So we just break that level. 15 seconds later, the bulls realize what has happened, or that cloud of resistance, that big ask gets pulled and bulls take it away. So an amazing opportunity. Good break, a double top, and a classic break of resistance. Just a good move. So congratulations to anyone who managed to get on that. CODX on the daily time frame also showing some interest. The volume is not substantially different than the day before. There is earnings. It was either today or, well, I'm guessing it's going to be later because the estimate has not been filled out. Who knows? Maybe it's happening right now and we'll look something at pre-market, and or our after hours levels might be seeing some volatility. But let's check out our weekly resistance levels. We do have some very close weekly resistance sitting at $4.70. Looks like we're getting an execution of a weird bull flag on the weekly time frame. And if we go to the daily, we are creeping back up toward overbought conditions. So keep an eye on that, knowing that we need to set a daily higher low. Our last one was down here at 270 on the 4-hour time frame. Nice stair stepping action. That's what we want to see. That means we're setting hourly higher lows. Overbought earlier today as we approach 470. So as long as we maintain these important higher lows, then we have an opportunity to consolidate, keep our RSI levels healthy, and then look for a 470 break. And there's your hourly higher lows, 361, a triple bottom. Then we also have hourly support at 392. So looking relatively good on the hourly time frame. The only thing that I see that might give me a little bit of caution is going to be what could develop into a little bit of a wedge shape. So looking at something like that, these wedges often result in a breakdown. So if we are looking at a hourly uptrend with a wedge, we would look for a break of that wedge. So let's play this through. We would look for a break of that wedge. We would expect to knock out our hourly support, and then we would establish a 4-hour higher low somewhere in that area. So if that happens, we lose 392 support, look for a 4-hour higher low somewhere above 361. If the bulls want to maintain upside, they have to set that level. And if the market is strong tomorrow, or the market sees a surge after early morning weakness, then we could see that coming into play pretty quickly. VIR, I believe this is our last ticker. Let's take a look. Oh, we got one more that I need to type in, and in fact I'm going to type it in right now so that I don't forget to do it. VIR on the daily, this one is a little bit looking a little bit more bullish than our previous names because this is a Marabuzzo close, and we are getting into the area where we don't have a lot of resistance. We drop down very, very quickly, and this is a bunch of chaotic volatility. I don't know what we can expect in this area, but I do know that we do have a resistance to worry about in the short term. 2208. With this sort of momentum, if we see increased fear, it's likely that we would see a gap up over that and a back test. Earnings are also today, so keep a close eye on these guys. We have daily low support. We haven't changed the daily trend yet. We've broken to new highs, but we haven't established higher lows. So the best thing to do for the bulls would be to reject from 2008, set a 4-hour daily higher low, maybe against EMA 26, wherever that is, and look for continuation. Alternatively, if we open above, we could just see a continuation, hopefully getting a back test of support for confirmation and then continuation to the upside there. 4-hour time frame, bulls are very hot. RSI's got to be close to overbought. 68.69, 4-hour higher low set. Hourly time frame, we did lose the not quite an hourly, we didn't lose the hourly trend. We got very, very close to it, but bulls managed to hold things together and really piled on at the end of the day here. 2222, 2208, it's going to be resistance for us. Best possible case for us if we don't gap up and back test 2208 as support would be an hourly bull flag. And we'll see how that plays out before our market open. NVAX on the daily time frame. Oddly, a little bit weak. We did bounce off of our EMA 12, so that is good. We saw a little bit of a push, but still we have a red close in what otherwise should have been a relatively strong sector. Daily resistance at 1850. We do have daily support at low day, 763, and then our EMA 12 is just currently 767. We're in an overall daily uptrend, so the bulls have that going for them. We're going to get into an area of 4-hour volatility and lack of direction, and we can see that we have a an hourly downtrend. Not quite a wedge, but we are setting lower highs and lower lows. In order to change that story, bulls need to set a higher low over top of 770 and then ultimately get over 850. That's it today. So if I can teach one lesson today, it's that when you have names like this, you rely on fear. These are fueled by fear. If we stay the same or fear decreases, we're likely to see less interest in these names. The only way they keep going is if the pandemic spreads, so keep that in mind.